Yo, my peoples, what's up? Welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Jason here, and today I have a comparison review for you. I am going to take a look at Horrified, the American Monsters version, and I'm going to compare it to Horrified, the basic version. So this game came out a couple of years ago, and it is one of my favorite lighter family weight cooperative games. So when I found that American Monsters was coming, I was pretty excited. So I'm not going to bury the lead. These two products are pretty much similar. They're not expansions. They're standalone, so you can get one or the other and have a complete game experience. American Monsters replicates much of what goes on in Horrified, but the monsters are the main difference between the two. And I'll go ahead and break that down, see what you're going to get with Horrified American Monsters compared to the original version. Let's get to it. All right, so first let me get into what is similar and or the same between Horrified and the American Monsters version. The answer is a fair amount. So I'm showing you the board from the original Horrified, the monster movie effect with the precinct and the inn and the shop. 24 spaces on the board from which you can travel. We get to Horrified American Monsters. And it is Americana with the diner and the sheriff station, everything. 24 spaces, pretty much the same. Here are the playable characters. You have 7 in the base game that look like this, and 7 in the expansion that look like this. In one, they're called heroes, and another called investigators, but otherwise, 1-to-1, pretty much the same. So special action for this character, move 1 hero or villager 1 space. Special action for the scout over here. Move 1 investigator or citizen. 1 location. Change the words. Works the same. Pretty much down the line. We have a theme going, so let's get with it. I'm showing you the player aids from both actions. So you see there's a list of actions on the new version, a list of actions on the old version. They're exactly the same. Move, guide, pick up, share, advance. That is the player actions. And then as you get into the enemy phase, item phase, event phase, and monster strike. Hey, check that out. Pretty much the same. The rhythm of the game pretty much is the same. If you know Horrified, you're going to be able to play American Monsters. Even down to the special player-centered support deck. So whenever you rescued a citizen or villager, you'd be able to draw from this pile that would help you. The effects are like current player takes 2 additional actions, move a hero up to 4 spaces. Here we go in American Monsters. Move investigator up to 4 locations. The current player takes 2 additional actions. Even the card distributions are basically the same. I'm about to get to the advanced monsters, which is where the game diverges in terms of how they play out. However, the simple monsters are basically the same. So here is a low complexity monster, the Invisible Man. You're going to go around the board finding items and lining them up. So the item from the barn, the item from the institute. Once you fill out that grid, you can beat the Invisible Man. Chupacabra, slight difference. You have to get goats specifically, and those can be anywhere. But once you get the goats, you put them on the board. You have summoned the Chupacabra, and you can beat it. Basically works out very similar. And now we get to the significant difference between Horrified and American Monsters, the more complex scenarios. Basically, this is you're buying the same system again, but for different, slightly more advanced scenarios when you get to the more complex monsters. So just wanted to show you the difference between the scrawny mummy and the big buff Bigfoot. That's about the difference in miniature quality. If you don't care about your miniatures, you're like me, it's whatever. But if you do want a slightly nicer miniature, American Monsters is okay. All right, so here are 2 monsters that work similar, but they diverge. The mummy has this puzzle that you have to complete. You have to uncover these and make sure they're in the right spots and take actions to move them around. 1, 2, 3, there we go. The Bigfoot is a similar situation. You're going to be moving these around. You're going to be uncovering these and trying to make the Bigfoot into a coherent picture. However, the difference is the mummy works the same as every other monster. It chases you, you beat it, etc. The Bigfoot runs away. It's the only monster that never attacks you. It just runs away. So that changes up gameplay significantly because it's the only monster in the system that does that. So as an example of a very unique monster to the American monster setup is the Jersey Devil. Here you go. Here is that mini for you miniatures fans. As you go through the game, you are going to investigate the citizens, which are separate from the regular monster deck. This is the only scenario that does that. You're going to be pulling from these chips over here, and let's say you get a clue, flowers, and then you're going to look for citizens that have flowers in them. So then this citizen has a flower, so they are a suspect. They could be the Jersey Devil. You fill in these 3 clues, you find the card that has all 3 of them, and that is the Jersey Devil. You go to their spot and you kill. So, this is a very different approach, and so look for that in the other monsters that are medium above in American Monsters, that type of thing. I'll leave you to explore that for yourself. So, as you can see, the main difference is in the level of complexity of the monsters that are available in either version. Like I said before, it's pretty much the similar game other than that. So I think from a gamer's perspective, we're going to gravitate towards the slightly more complicated, involved monsters, more intellectual challenge at the table. And I think for the most part, yeah. If you are a veteran of Horrified, the American Monsters will give you a little bit of a different look. My concern with it is that it's still a family weight game. And if you want to bring this out for your families, the Bigfoot and the Jersey Devil in particular, I find to be a little crunchy, a little kind of counterintuitive. The Bigfoot, runs towards you, but then runs away. So, that doesn't make a lot of sense on the table. And the Jersey Devil, you have the out of turn event deck that might be a little bit challenging to implement. It's simple at the end of the day, but I'm looking at it from the perspective of the audience for this game, which is the more quote-unquote casual family member scenario. So, but having said that those are minor quibbles. For the most part, I really think that you can't go wrong with either version, and a lot of it's going to come down to taste. Do you like those classic monsters? Do you want the more folklorish aspect of the American Monsters? That's up to you. This is Jason with the One Stop Co-op Shop, reminding you that we will see you at the next stop.